Welcome to the Contemporary Arts Center's exhibition of On the Line, Documents of Risk and Faith. On the Line is part of the 2022 Photo Focus Biennial, a regional celebration of photography and other lens-based art. This exhibition asks us to think about lines, both physical and metaphorical. When you hear the word line, what comes to your mind? What are the various meanings of the phrase, on the line? One artist who thinks about lines in different ways is Mary Mattingly. Her works in the exhibition Pool and Cobalt and the Rare Earth Elements in a Light, Medium, Tactile Vehicle and My Camera focus on actual lines and lines as causes she is trying to highlight. In Pool, Mattingly bound her material possessions and pulled them through the streets of New York City. Lines appear in the wrapped twine around her belongings and also in the map of her path through the city. In her words, she did this to, quote, reconsider the weight of their extraction, production, distribution, and trajectory around the world, end quote. Mattingly's line concerns climate change, materialism, and sustainability. This is also seen in Cobalt and the Rare Earth Elements in a Light, Medium, Tactile Vehicle and My Camera. The map shows the production and distribution of cobalt and other earth elements. Cobalt is a metal used in the manufacture of high-heat, durable metal alloys and rechargeable batteries. As you look closely at the lines drawn, cobalt is primarily mined in less economically stable countries in the global south and transported to North America, Europe, and Asia for production. Mattingly's map inspires us to consider the ways in which some wealthier countries benefit from the resources of other countries, those which have historically been colonized and stripped of their resources. Awareness of these practices can impact which lines we create for ourselves, leading us to buy from specific companies or make sure we recycle our technology. Have you made any of these types of choices for a line you've decided to follow in your life? Lourdes Rodriguez created this map of the United States with ink on paper. Instead of seeing boundary lines for Canada, the States, and Mexico, we see the continent broken into belts: Sun Belt, Bible Belt, Grain Belt, Banana Belt, and so on. You may have heard some of these regions, some others maybe not. Border lines for countries, especially in the Americas, are a highly debated topic. Who is able to cross these borders and why? You might notice that this map is also not a realistic representation of the United States or the land in North America. It is a subjective portrayal. Are all maps true? What role do maps play today? What about in the past? Maps provide us with the direction and security of knowing where to go. They can be inspirational. However, they can also create division. They tell us who has power and resources, and they have a history associated with colonialism, eminent domain, and infrastructure planning. What additional information can Rodriguez's map tell you? Paulo Nazareth's Noticias de America, or News from the Americas, involves crossing borders of the Americas. He began in Minas Gerais in southeastern Brazil and traveled through South and Central America, areas of the Caribbean, and on to New York. Along the way, Nazareth documented his journey and interactions, often holding signs that read, quote, "I am an American also," end quote, and quote, "free all day," end quote. These signs challenge perceptions held in the United States about refugees and immigrants. Once Nazareth reached the Hudson River in New York, he washed his feet, recalling ritual washing symbolizing humility, purity, and renewal. Wendy Red Star's series Res Pop shows us cars found in the reservation backed by colorful, shiny fabrics. About the series, Red Star says, quote, "These are my people. This is my community. This is my family. And these are their homes and lives." End quote. Red Star wanted to focus on these broken down cars to tell stories about the folks who lived on the Absaluka or Crow Reservation. How the cars become storage units, memorials, and play yards. The bright fabric colors relate to the homes built by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Many people outside the reservation assume the bright colors on the HUD houses are associated with cultural aesthetics, but in reality, the bright colors were chosen by the government because they were discounted paints. By pulling the cars out of their context, Red Star mimics what has been done with many indigenous arts in the United States. And while Red Star does not consider herself a political artist, her dedication to showing her environment in daily truth is a radical act on its own. What actions in your daily life could be thought of as political? Mauro Restif's series appears, at first glance, to be documentary photographs of gatherings of people. While they are gatherings, the translations of the two series shown here give more insight into Restif's messaging. Imposamento, which means swearing in, and iminovel, which means unnameable. Mauro Restif made Imposamento in 2003 during the presidential inauguration of Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in Brazil. At the same location and on the same date in 2019, Restif photographed the inauguration of Brazil's right-wing populist president, Jair Bolsonaro, for a work that it translates to unnameable. In this case, the choice to attend the inauguration is a political act. Wearing a shirt or hat marks the attendant's political beliefs. Restif's choice of title demonstrates his own. How have Restif and the other artists in the exhibition demonstrated the meaning of being on the line to you?